What's going on, guys? Hilltown here. So the wife's had an issue with her Jeep for a long time where in the winter time when she goes to turn the heat to the floor, she doesn't get any airflow at her feet. We're going to try to tackle this today and see if we can fix it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get this felt panel down that you see here. You can actually see the zip ties holding it on, which tells me somebody has been in here before for something else. Wouldn't surprise me if it were the same issue. So off camera, I'm going to go ahead and clip these zip ties, get this felt liner down, and we're going to take a look at things. Okay guys, the Jeep is running. This bottom actuator here is for the hot and cold. I'll show you that by spinning the dial so you can see it actually move. Did you catch that? I'll do it one more time. There it goes. So the upper actuator, if I can show that to you on camera, I'll try. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see that, but see that white thing there? That's the upper actuator, the bottom of it. So I'm going to turn the directional flow dial and we're going to see if that actuator responds. There it goes. So that one is working. It sounds a little funky though. So what I want to do is I want to remove that actuator and I want to see if I can access that blend door and move that manually since I do not have heat on the floor here. Alright guys, so I had to rip this thing apart without you because it's just too tight in there to work by yourself. Never mind yourself, a camera, and having the use of two hands. So basically what I did is I took out, when I was showing you underneath the dash before, you saw this. Let me move the camera. You saw this, these actuators mounted to this bracket here. Basically what you were looking at, this was the bottom actuator here. I took all the screws out of this thing. I pulled the whole mess out. Obviously disconnected the power to both actuators. And all I can tell you is, I hope you're mechanically inclined because you're going to be doing 52 card pickup with heater parts as opposed to playing cards. So this ought to be fun to put back together. But what I found was, the problem actually surprised me, and I'll show you in a second what I believe it was. First thing I did, since we know these actuator motors were good, is I started looking at these teeth. And, you know, they're pretty rugged, even though they're plastic. There's no issues with those at all. No obvious physical issues here. So then I focused my attention under the dash, and let me show you what I found. Okay, so here we are. Let me show you a tip for accessing that upper actuator. Both actuators actually, but particularly the upper one. Just take this lower panel here and pull this down. See, that just pops down like so. Then you can take this whole mess, slide it to the left, and it'll come right out. So with this panel removed, you can actually get in here like a gentleman. And let me show you what I think the issue is. Just so you have your bearings, you can see that I took out the ductwork here. Probably didn't need to do that. Your actuator mounts right here. And this is the end of the blend door that controls the directional flow. I have this spun all the way clockwise now, so now she finally has airflow on the floor as well as the defrost position. What I believe the problem is, the top of this gear here actually busted a tooth. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I really didn't want to get into this job as much as I am now, and I certainly don't want to get into it further to replace that part. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it in the position that it's in now, where she has airflow both to the floor and the defrost position, and call it a day. We're not going to keep this vehicle too much longer as a primary driver. So long as she has heat to get through the winter with it, that's good enough for us. I hope this helped you out on your quest to fix your heat problem. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one.